avalanche in that second half of threes, and we just couldn't get a handle on it, whether it was man or zone, and it was one of the better three-point shooting displays that I've been on the other end of. Probably the biggest one. And it seemed like that was the common theme. Every time we had a little bit of a run, they would knock down 2 or 3 straight threes and create that distance. And they just put on a heck of an offensive shooting performance in that second half.
What was the latest you got on Jimmy's shoulder?
Yeah, it's a strain, and we'll find out more, as we move on in this road trip and see how he feels.
When you're preparing or scouting that team, do you concern about them as a three-point shooting team, or do you expect them to
certainly very aware of it, but you're not expecting them to make 24. You're not even expecting them to shoot over 50 threes. I know we were in the zone, so that's a lot of what was available. We didn't do it great in the second half. Now they made a couple adjustments and spread us out, but we're capable of doing better. It would have required, obviously, more efforts and more scrambling to get them off the line, and we weren't able to do that. But they shot the heck out of it, and that was all throughout their roster. And they made them when they needed to. When they needed to keep us at bay, they made, like I said, 2 or 3 in a row. It seemed like at every sequence to keep the distance.
Erik, what's an emotional night like tonight? Obviously, plenty going on behind the scenes. Some guys remaining in the locker room. Obviously, the trading deadlines like that annually. What's it like with all that sort of in the background going on, including affecting your rotation?
No, you're used to a lot of change in this league. It doesn't take away from the human side of it. But our group was focused on the task at hand. It didn't affect anything that happened in between those 4 lines. What affected us more than anything was the team on the other end. They played great in that second half. I mean, that was a great offensive explosion in the second half.
Was that a matter of you telling Dion and JJ to wait in the locker room, obviously with things in play?
I'm not going to comment about anything other than the game, right now. I'll have more for you tomorrow.
Coach, I assume everything that you had heard about Vincent was in play when you gave him the opportunity?
Yeah, and I didn't even hesitate. I feel like I've known him for the last 6 weeks just by getting daily reports from EG and watching a bunch of film before we found him. He definitely can fit. He helps. A lot of the actions that we run, they run in Sioux Falls, obviously, but he looks good in those actions on the run. He has range, but he can shoot on the move. He's a capable, detailed defender. He'll get better in that area. So we're very happy to have him.
For as much as Derrick Jones Jr. is known as a dunker, a game like this, a career high also, what does this sort of show about how he continues to complete his all-around game?
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even see how many he ended up with. Yeah. He's like the rest of our young guys. They all put in so much time that if you don't watch the Miami Heat for 4 or 5, 6 weeks, you're going to see a bunch of different players, improved players. You're going to see a team that looks different, and that's a credit to them. It's a credit to the work ethic of the guys in the locker room. Derrick has been much better. Each year he's learning what it means to become a pro, what it means to become consistent, what it means to really develop a work ethic and see results from putting in the time. And then ultimately what we want to do is have him learn what it means to become a real winner. And he's on track for that.
Erik, along those lines, with Bam's playmaking, has really gone to a different level this last month. When Jimmy went down tonight, the ball kind of went through him more again. What sort of precipitated that with him, and just kind of your confidence?
Yeah, necessity. I mean, like I said, most people haven't watched this. He's been doing that now all year, and he already started that process last year. But that's what we tell our guys all the time. If you win, people will pay attention, and they'll start to write stories about you and things of that nature. Bam and Jimmy are basically our point guards, but that's been going on all year. So when Jimmy went out, Bam just does what he's been doing. It's not like we had to reinvent anything.
How unique is that? I mean, to have a guy like that skill set that can be in the dunker spot, but can also do that stuff from
really worked at it. He's developed. It's not something that happened overnight. This has been a 2.5-year process. Jumping in all the drills with the guards, the perimeters, spending a lot of time in the summer on his playmaking and ball handling, and then growing in the role and taking on more responsibilities as the season goes on.
Sort of little with Jimmy. I know it's a shoulder, but
Yeah, he is, and all these things that you can't really comment it right after the game. You have to wait until we get to Sacramento, and I'm sure we'll get an MRI and go from there.